It's Wednesday, February 17th, and this is now on HNN.
Some of our facilities are going to have to start canceling appointments.
Bad weather on the mainland delays vaccine shipments to Hawaii.
I never really thought it would get this bad.
Let me tell you who we conservatives are.
Conservative radio talk show host Rush Limbaugh has died after his battle with cancer.
We're raising the issue now.
A string of recent COVID-related attacks against Asian Americans has some communities on high alert.
They are targeting women and also our children in school.
From the very beginning, I realized I saw the world differently than everyone else.
These stories plus Emma Stone is downright mean in the new trailer for Cruella. That's coming up on This Is Now. Wanted to start today with this live video feed coming in from Dallas. Will you look at that? It is 28 degrees in that snow-covered area there. And you know, all this severe weather on the mainland is causing some shipping problems of vaccine to here in Hawaii. We'll have much more on that in just a moment. But first, let's get you updated on those latest coronavirus numbers. Ashley has the details on that.
The State Health Department is reporting 29 new cases today and 1 new fatality. We'll have the breakdown for you on your HNN digital platforms. Meanwhile, there is new hope this week for jobless workers waiting on a federal extension of their unemployment benefits. Here's Casey Lund with an update.
Good afternoon. Finally, claimants are able to actually file their claims for that second round of federal extensions. The Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, it was signed into law late in December of last year, covering folks for 11 weeks, from the beginning of January of this year to the middle of March. But it took the state a long time to bring that program back online. And folks are only able to get their claims processed. I still haven't heard from anyone who's actually been paid, but we are hopeful. But I am still hearing from people who haven't received a payment since the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020.
So now as of today, my thing is still pending. I got 38 pending weeks, fax, email, call, so I did everything. So I'm in a situation right now, it's like, it's so frustrating that it's not even funny anymore. It's like, I don't even know who to talk to.
People like Eric are becoming more and more frustrated. They're not getting a lot of help from the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations. Instead, they're reaching out to a very popular Facebook group, Hawaii Unemployment Updates and Support Groups. It's got a lot of members and moderators that work to get those claimants information. I've asked why the state hasn't jumped in to that Facebook group to moderate the discussion and try to help people get the information that they need.
And I completely agree with you that it would be very beneficial for everyone if they had someone from the DLIR on the group answering questions, but unfortunately they don't, and we haven't been able to do that. So that's why the community just gets together and helps each other out, researches information, shares experiences, and just offers support.
There's still a remaining question about the state's antiquated computer system. The latest timeline they gave was 18 months. We asked an expert in technology if that was a reasonable timeline for bringing something like that online.
18 months sounds like a long time. I'm sure for a lot of people, they're thinking, how hard could it possibly be? But 18 months is not out of line for me, and actually $10 million is less than what the federal government suggested states budget to do these overhauls, which is $30 to $40 million. And some states like California had to give up their modernization after spending $300 million.
But the question remains, why did it take the state so long to begin the process of updating to this cloud-based computer system? Those are questions that we have not gotten real definitive answers to, despite having reached out to the DLIR several times and the EGA administration. We'll continue to work to get you those answers. Reporting at the DLIR, I'm Casey Lund. Now back to you.
Severe weather on the mainland is causing vaccine shipping problems for the state. Shots that were scheduled at Leeward Community College today are canceled. At the Blaisdell, the Queens Medical Center is postponing some appointments, and second doses are still being prioritized to make sure people get full coverage. This comes just as the state prepares for a surge of elderly residents getting their second shot.
Normally we get 2 shipments from Pfizer each week, and we get 2 shipments from Moderna each week. So we got the first Pfizer shipment that originally typically would arrive on Monday, but because of the holiday it arrived on Tuesday, so that came in. However, the second Pfizer shipment, which is almost 10,000 doses, that has been delayed. And we do not, as of this morning, we do not have a delivery date yet for that second Pfizer shipment. Now, in addition to that, there's the first Moderna shipment for this week, which is 14,000 doses, and then an additional Moderna shipment of approximately another 9,000 doses. They have both been delayed as well. So we have those 3 shipments that have all been delayed, and we do not have delivery dates for those shipments as of this morning.
Now, Texas has been hit especially hard by this massive storm, and Dallas is even expecting more snow. Nancy Chin has the latest developments from the mainland.
Much of the U.S. remains in the grip of an unusually harsh bout of severe winter weather. On Wednesday, the National Weather Service said more than 100 million Americans were under a winter storm warning, watch, or advisory. Those warnings extend from Canada to Mexico. In Texas, residents have already endured days of snow and sub-zero temperatures. Frozen pipes, pumps, and other equipment left millions without gas or electricity.
It's pretty bad that, as Texans, we just can't prepare for cold. And every other part of the country, this would have not been even an issue.
Plano resident Tara Davis fled to Florida with her 8-month-old baby.
This is a chance we're willing to take to not have to have our baby out here in -degree weather.
A rare midwinter tornado touched down this week in Brunswick County, North Carolina. The EF3 twister claimed 3 lives and damaged or destroyed as many as 50 homes. Nancy Chen, CBS News.
2 visitors from Louisiana were arrested for trying to bribe a screener at Honolulu's Daniel K. Inouye International Airport. John Trell White and Nadia Bailey allegedly came to Oahu without a negative COVID test or an exemption and tried to give a screener $3,000 to avoid quarantine. Both White and Bailey were booked and sent back to the mainland. The bomb squad was called in overnight to remove 2 suspicious items in Chinatown. Cylindrical items with what appeared to be wires were spotted in a pile of rubbish along Mauna Kea Street. A bomb squad robot removed them. Crews investigated and declared them non-explosive. Mauna Kea Street was shut down for about 3.5 hours starting at around 1 a.m. It has since reopened. A car theft ended with a 9-month-old girl abandoned in the middle of the road in Waianae. We're told the girl's mother left her in the car with the engine running at a gas station. Our Allison Blair spoke to a man who found the child 2 miles away.
Everybody know me as Mousy, that's why I do what, most people wouldn't do. I just kind of clean the road and pick up all the rubbish. Yeah.
It's what he was doing Monday evening. He says he was just about to head home when a car came barreling past him.
When the car pulled on the side, I told my friend, hey, let's go check it out. He might be throwing rubbish or littering or something. Yeah? So as we were approaching the car, he did a U-turn. And he drove back this way, so I just kept on driving and I turned around.
On his way back, he noticed something odd sitting in the road.
The baby chair was here and it was covered with a shirt. So I put on the side and I told my friend, we gotta go check this out.
When he looked inside,
I was tripping out. I was telling my friend, oh my God, there's a baby in here. What are we gonna do, And at the same time, there was a truck coming down, so with a big horse trailer, so I stopped him and I called HPD.
Not long before, a kidnapping had been reported at the Aloha gas station on Farrington Highway near Army Street. That's where witnesses say a car thief jumped in the driver's seat of a vehicle that was left running at a gas pump and took off, not knowing there was a baby inside. The suspect is described as a man who appeared to be in his 20s with short hair, fair skin, and a thin build. He was wearing a black t-shirt, black shorts, and slippers. After the thief dumped the baby, he ditched the car too, about a mile away on Hale'ekahi Street.
Big trucks come through here.
Thanks to Moniz, the baby was found almost immediately after she was left in the road.
She was smiling and that kind of gave me a good feeling like, wow, it was our purpose to be here, at the time.
Says he thanks God for that.
I felt a sense of relief because I could only imagine if it was my child.
If you have any information on this case, you're asked to call Honolulu Crime Stoppers. In Waianae, Allison Blair, Hawaii News Now.
A disturbing story out of San Francisco. Police have arrested a man for pushing down an elderly Asian man and seriously harming him. Among the assault charges is injuring a person due to perceived race. It's the latest in a string of attacks that have targeted Asian Americans from California to New York since the pandemic began. Actors Daniel Day Kim and Daniel Wu offered a $25,000 reward for information leading to an arrest of this latest attack. The Hawaii Five-0 actor spoke to CNN. Here's what he had to say.
You're raising the alarm about these attacks. Has there been enough condemnation?
I'm not sure what enough would be, but I'm glad that we're raising the issue now, and it's finally gotten to a place in the international and national scope where people like you are talking about it. So I'm very grateful.
How bad is it on a personal level? People that you spend time with, I mean, I think at least a third, I understand, of Asian Americans say that they've been threatened, and a little less say they feel unsafe on the streets at the moment.
I know plenty of Asian Americans who feel very unsafe today, including my parents, who live in California. And they've been in their homes for a year because of fear of getting COVID, and now there's hope for a vaccine, and they're afraid of going outside because of the huge number of attacks on Asian American and specifically the elderly.
Elderly people, it's horrifying. The number of videos that you just see, very frail people walking along the street and attacked sort of randomly. Why elderly people?
You know, it's hard to say, but you know, there's something in the psyche of people that somehow thinks it's okay to attack Asian people, and the most vulnerable of our population is the one that's most often attacked, the elderly. But it's, you know, if you look at the other instances of verbal abuse, extreme verbal abuse, they are targeting women and also our children in school. Asian American children are often the targets of bullies, especially during this virus, and there are numerous reports of bullying getting so out of hand that it gets physically violent. So it's not just elderly, but it is whoever is most vulnerable.
Do you blame the former president, Donald Trump? He, of course, used a number of slurs to reference the pandemic, calling it the China virus or Kung flu. Do you find that was this behavior is a direct reaction to that kind of language? And now that he's no longer in office, would you expect it to be perhaps not as bad?
It's a difficult question to answer. I think it was a confluence of events that led to this phenomenon in the country, but I don't think it's a coincidence that immediately after he started calling this Kung flu and the China virus, we saw a 1,900% increase in hate crimes and abuse in New York alone. So, you know, those are just facts. You can draw a direct line from that kind of language to these kinds of incidents. As far as the future and where we are now, I think it's a big step that President Biden used an executive order to denounce this kind of crime and this kind of hate toward Asian Americans. It's an important first step. It's certainly a long way from the other rhetoric that we were hearing. There's clearly a lot more that needs to be done, though.
You've actively offered money for a reward so that one person can be brought to justice for one particular incident. How has that played out, and how much more needs to be done in terms of trying to pressure communities to stop doing this?
Well, you know, my friend Daniel Wu and I offered this reward for two reasons. One, to bring the perpetrator to justice, and two, to raise awareness for this issue, because those of us who have been following news of the Asian American community have known that this has been going on for a year. And it's been almost daily in our news feeds where we see a story about someone being set on fire, or there was a jazz pianist in New York City who was attacked so severely that he can no longer play the piano. There are numerous stories about verbal abuse that we see every day. And so we felt so exasperated and frustrated that somehow this wasn't escaping the echo chamber of the Asian American community, and so we wanted to raise the stakes. This is why Daniel and I offered this $25,000 reward, and in so doing, got the issue more visibility. And now it's becoming something where the national media and international media is starting to take notice. And so we achieved that goal. But we now know that there's things we need to do beyond just awareness. We need to do something more to stem the tide.
Conservative radio talk show host Rush Limbaugh died this morning after a long battle with lung cancer. Michael George has more.
This is unreal!
Conservative firebrand Rush Limbaugh pushed the envelope on talk radio and online, commenting on everything from pop culture.
Have we got fun in store for you today?
To politics for more than 3 decades.
Let me tell you who we conservatives are. We love people.
The Missouri native broke into radio in the 70s, soaring to fame in the 80s with his own nationally syndicated radio program.
Welcome to the Rush Limbaugh program.
At one point, the Rush Limbaugh Show was the highest-rated talk radio show in the nation, with millions of listeners known as Ditto Heads. During that time, Limbaugh developed a reputation for his polarizing views and inflammatory rhetoric.
We have a major immigration problem.
In 2006, he famously mocked actor Michael J. Fox for having Parkinson's disease.
In this commercial, he is exaggerating.
In 2012, he referred to a Georgetown law student as a slut and a feminazi for backing insurance coverage for contraceptives.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Limbaugh also promoted the false rumor that President Obama was actually born in Africa and used his show to promote the false birther conspiracy. The popular radio personality battled health issues throughout the years, including hearing loss and opioid addiction, which led to a stint in rehab. In 2015, he downplayed the dangers of smoking. 5 years later, the cigar-loving Limbaugh announced he had advanced lung cancer.
I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
A staunch supporter of President Trump, the president awarded Limbaugh the Medal of Freedom in 2020, the nation's highest civilian honor.
He is the greatest fighter and winner that you will ever meet.
While some on the left panned him as a divisive figure, Limbaugh described himself differently in a 1991 interview with 60 Minutes.
The most dangerous man? No, I'm a harmless fuzzball.
His booming voice and combative style helped pave the way for other commentators, championing conservative causes in the media. Michael George, CBS News.
I'm going to switch gears here just a bit because there is some local severe weather to talk about. We're taking a live look outside down King Street here in town towards Diamond Head. Looking a little gloomy here on Oahu, but other parts of the state there's a real concern of flooding. So let's get an update from Guy Hoggy with more on that.
A flash flood watch has been extended until tomorrow evening for Kauai because a cold front that is basically parked over the Garden Island has dumped a lot of rain. There was some flooding issues earlier, and there's more rain upstream heading for them over the next 24 hours, and that's why that flash flood watch is on for them. So a stormy day for Kauai, and for the rest of the state, we'll see some passing showers, mainly for those Windward and Mauka areas. There's a slight chance that Oahu and maybe even Maui could get some brief heavy downpours from that front as it pulls away. And for the Big Island, they'll see scattered showers today, mainly Windward and Mauka, but there's a chance for some afternoon thunderstorms over on the Kona side. And the surf's on the way up. We've got a nice swell rolling into north and west shores. It's below advisory levels, but with those light trade winds today, it's going to be awesome. But remember, you have to have experience because it's kind of on the big side. So again, light trade winds today, stormy conditions for Kauai, scattered showers all the way through Saturday. And then on Sunday, those showers kind of ease up only for those Windward and Mauka areas, and those trade winds running slow until Friday. Keep it here on Hawaii News Now. We'll have all your severe weather updates.
This next story has the internet talking, and you know what? I'm not a huge Disney animated films person, but no, I'm really not. And there's a new trailer out, though, for Disney's Cruella, starring Emma Stone, and I'm just gonna play it out for you right now. It looks good.
From the very beginning, I realized I saw the world differently than everyone else. That didn't sit well with some people. But I wasn't for everyone. I guess they were always scared. that I'd be a psycho.
Ooh.
Yeah, woo. Stone is playing a younger version of Cruella in this origin story that continues the 101 Dalmatian franchise. The film takes place in the 1970s in London, where fashion designer Estella DeVille, I know, I didn't realize that was not her birth name, becomes obsessed with dog skins. Yuck. The trailer's dark tone suggests that Cruella will just be as evil as the first time around. Get this, Glenn Close, who portrayed Cruella in the 1996 film, which I did not see, the live action, and the sequel in 2000, is serving as an executive producer. The film is slated to hit theaters May 28. No word if it will be available on those streaming services like Disney Plus. Well, Disney Plus, since it is Disney's. But look at those costumes.
Yeah,
and
it looks
makeup,
fantastic.
and it looks dark. So also no word if this is kid friendly, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it might be a little too dark for some audiences.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
But I love origin stories.
Yeah,
and
I mean, Wolverines.
Mhm.
Oh man, that one is
Hannibal
killer.
Lecter.
Oh yeah.
That was another good one.
Oh,
It makes you understand why they are the way they are.
You're giving me all these ideas of what to stream. What'd you find, Ash?
So another celebrity is launching a tequila brand. Kendall Jenner announced her 818 tequila on Instagram. Now the 25-year-old model says it's been 4 years in the making. So if you do the math, when she turned 21, she was kind of like, hey, I should start a tequila brand. Anyway, she says the drink has already won several awards after being anonymously entered into competitions. According to one judge from the Ultimate Spirits Challenge, it was the greatest tasting tequila of 2020. Now, 818 appears to be named after Jenner's hometown area code. The tequila comes in Blanco, Anejo, and Reposado, and a release date and prices have not been revealed yet.
So close to the 808,
I
right?
know. Tequila, though.
So we got some royal news, and it's a little sad. Prince Philip is in the hospital. Keir Simmons has an update from London.
Buckingham Palace at pains to stress that the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, walked into the hospital on his own, that he went into the hospital last night on doctor's advice after he complained of feeling unwell. They are saying that it is a precautionary measure, royal sources saying it is just precautionary, and adding that the Duke of Edinburgh is in good spirits. He is very fit for his 99 years. He gave up smoking when he met the Queen. So while this is a worry, of course, for a man of his age, we have seen him in the hospital on a number of occasions, even to have his hip replaced some years ago, and the palace emphasising that they do not think that this is serious for the Duke of Edinburgh. Keir Simmons, NBC News, London.
Time for some good news. A young girl from Oahu is set to make history. Now, Kimmy Nelson will become one of the first female Eagle Scouts in the country. Nelson had to earn at least 21 merit badges covering topics like first aid, business, and the environment. The 10th grader from Mid-Pacific Institute is also earning a national honor after building a sidewalk for patients with disabilities at Tripler Army Medical Center. The Boy Scouts of America will live stream the Eagle Scout ceremony this Sunday on their Facebook page, and our Jim Mendoza spoke to Kimmy and will have that interview with for us for Step 4 today.
Awesome. Were you a scout?
I was not a scout.
I was. I didn't go all the way to Eagle Scout, but very good for her. I know it's Girl Scout cookie time, though.
It is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Look for that. A lot of online orders being placed around the country now for a good cause. You guys, that's going to do it for This Is Now. We are going to have much more other than Jim's story coming up at First at 4 with Ashley and Mark, so make sure to stay tuned for that and get all your news updates all day long on H&N's digital platforms. Have a good day.
Aloha.